Kosgei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From the onset, I want to support the Regional Development Authority bill. It has been said, Mr. Speaker, that purpose dictates priority. The regional development authorities were created and tasked with a unique mandate in the progression and development of our country in trying to fulfill the agenda of developing Kenya in a uniform way. About 40 years ago, the regimes that followed, there was some concern. Some regions have not been developed, and it looked like the development agenda of 1965 would not meet it and would not help them. So these regional bodies and authorities were created to mitigate on this, like one of our colleague mentioned a while ago. Mr. Speaker, they were mandated to initiate, to implement, an integrated multi-purpose programs and projects for a sustainable utilization of resources found in regional areas of our country. Mr. Speaker, it has served to a certain extent, and I think with the advent of the implementation of our Constitution through the two-tier system of government, which has now improved the very intention that was developed at that time, there is need to reform these bodies in order to meet the same demands. We cannot, there is a saying from where I come from by elders, that you cannot take a shelter under a tree while it is sunshine, and when you get the overall shade, you cut it down. The only thing we can do to these authorities is to reform them. Let us reform them. Now, we want to understand the concerns by the majority leader, deputy majority leader, when he mentioned about the people from Coast. We really appreciate the participation by Coastalians from 1963. It has produced some of the best politicians in this country who have served this nation with distinction. They have produced technocrats and bureaucrats who have served this country. At one point, we had the head of public service coming from the coast. And really, marginalization of coast, northern areas, and other places is what we, as a people of Kenya, discovered that the session of paper number 10 could not serve. So as we correct it, let us do it without putting the country into silos, but maintain nationalization of our projects. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I join my colleagues by saying our reformation must address harmonization of these particular authorities with the concept that is rising in the economic blocks of our counties, because counties are spread along the same regions. We need also to align it with our Constitution. And we do so with that appreciation, because these authorities, it was supposed to foster an integrated, sustainable economic development, and by empowering the communities that hosted it. It has to do so, as it were before, without looking like we are balkanizing the country. We must encourage nationalization of our focus in terms of developing our nation. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support this bill and congratulate the chair, Lord Chakabong, for leading his committee and bringing this particular bill. I support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable